Hey, what's up, guys? What's up? This is Dasho Rose here. And what a lovely October it is. You know, with the leaves, the wind. As you guys can probably hear, I'm actually doing this outside. I could have just done this in the morning, but I'm like, you know what? It's nice out and all that. And I'm kind of trying to get some videos done and all that, because I actually did not realize that this week is the last week of October. Because I was sick that one week, everything kind of got messed up, so I kind of lost track of time there. Yeah, I think I talked about that before, how I lost my voice and all that. I couldn't speak. I literally cannot speak at all. I can speak perfectly fine now, but at the beginning of the month, I literally could not. So, and some of these videos, these ideas kind of came out of nowhere and all that. And one of them was that I was thinking about, well, this is actually a couple weeks ago I was thinking about this. I wanted to do a top 10. Now, actually, I already have a top 10 in the works on a show and all that. I already have that in the works. I've actually been trying to get that one done for the last few, years now. Or not years, I mean months. Not years, I mean the last few months, and all that. I have not, I'm getting it done and all that. But because it's October and all, I want to focus on a Halloween-themed top 10. Last year I did candy and all that. This year I actually want to do something different. I think it was last year I did candy, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think it was last year. Honestly, last year and the year before kind of felt kind of similar years in a way. So, I think it was last year, because the year before that, I was going through severe depression and all that, and anxiety, because I was getting my wisdom teeth taken out and all that, which, by the way, was not a bad thing. It actually surprised, it hurt. Like, it did cause my gums to kind of itch a little bit, but it didn't hurt, which I'm surprised, but I'm fine with that. But I was seriously worried about that, plus I was dealing with teeth and all that. So, I was dealing with a lot of stuff, and then we were, remodeling the house, which that part I don't like. I don't like how we remodeled the house and all that. I still think it kind of sucks the way it got remodeled, but I don't own the house, so I can't really make the decisions there, but yeah, I was going through a lot of depression, and then last year I was doing a lot better, but still trying to get things done and all that, so yeah, I had a lot of things I was trying to get done, but, and then this year I was dealing with helping my dad through surgery, because he's been having surgeries left and right. So, yeah, I've been going through a lot of things and all that. So, but I'm finally here to do another top 10 and all that. And, what better way to do a top 10 than on Danny Phantom? Yes, Danny Phantom. If you guys don't know what Danny Phantom is, it's a very popular and well-known Nickelodeon show. Oops, we're not there yet. Well, a Nickelodeon show. And all that. I gotta get a case for this thing, too. I've already dropped my phone a few times. I've kind of cracked it a little bit. And because I don't have a case on it, I end up sliding the pictures a lot easier. So, yeah. But as I was saying, though, is, Danny Phantom, though, is a very popular and well-known show. Lots of people love it, It got canceled and all that, but people still talk about it. And I've seen some top 10s on this show and all that, and I thought, why not do a top 10 on my own? So, and what better way than doing a top 10 on best characters? Yes, I want to do a top 10 on best characters from the show. Best characters. I'm not just ghosts, but characters in general. I'm gonna say right now, the humans in this show are honestly probably the least interesting characters of them all. They are. They're the least interesting of all the characters in the show. There are some few humans on this list that will be on here, but there are a lot of them like Mr. Lancer and all that, and Sam. I don't care about them. With Sam, I actually don't care for most of the part. There are a few occasions where I think Sam's a cool character, but for the most part, she is just terrible. And I do not understand why they paired her up with freaking Danny. I mean, they did that because that's a typical, cartoon thing and all that. What they do with the main characters, a lot of times they'll end up together. I mean, even Kim Possible, they did this too, where Ron and Kim Possible ended up together. But I think that show, they did it a lot better. So, yeah. But anywho though, I'm gonna go ahead and do a top 10 on this. So, remember guys, though, this is my opinion and all that. So if some of my characters are not on here, I just respect my opinion. If you guys have your own opinions on characters you would like to list in top 10s, you guys can put them in the comments below. Anywho, let's go ahead and get started. Number 10. Our first character up is Valerie. Valerie is our first character up. And I'm going to say right now, Valerie was honestly, I don't know, I was kind of hard. I mean, I actually wanted to pick Valerie, but I had a lot of characters I did, even though I said a lot of the human ones and all that were not interested, there were a lot I could choose from. But I wanted to put Valerie on here because I really like what they did to this character. I like how they made a side character, like, just in the background, an actual important character. I thought that was kind of cool. That's something we don't really see a lot in shows. Usually we just have the typical main characters and all that. We don't really have a lot of characters from the side that really get roles. Her first couple appearances, she actually doesn't have, well, she has a couple speaking roles, but she's actually voiced by a different character. I mean, a different person. And then when the first episode focused on her, she was replaced with, I don't remember the name of the voice actor, but she voices tons of characters. She's even voiced Susie on Rugrats and all that. So she's been in a lot of shows and all that. I think she also voices, if I'm not mistaken, she voices Foxy from, like, there's a show Foxy, the show called Drawn Together. She voices Foxy there and all that. So she actually voices quite a bit of characters. And actually, speaking of her, I think her voice actress actually voiced the first person she voiced, or character, or at least one of them, was Inspector Gadget's, I think daughter, I think is what it was. I think it was her. So, and she was actually a white character too. So, it's nice to hear a black person voice a different character. See, back in the day, it didn't matter, but now these days, it feels like which is stupid, it feels like now these days, they gotta throw a big fit about it in Hollywood and all that. I'm just like, you can't even, as long as you can't see the characters, I don't think it matters. I hate when they do this in live action films and all that, but with cartoon characters, you can't even see the characters, so I just don't see the point of it, but yeah, she's in a lot of roles and all that, but I do really like her character and all that, and I think she's a very good, hunter and all that, and she freaking gets at it with Danny a lot and all that, and I do like it how her human self actually likes Danny, but her human self actually likes, she likes the human version of Danny, but she despises the ghost version of him because she doesn't know he's actually Danny, Danny Fenton, when he's actually Danny Phantom as well. It's pretty cool. We get a whole bunch of dynamics with that and all that. But I really do like her character and all that, and I do like how we get to see her. She has 2 different suits and all that. I think it's pretty cool. I think her second suit is actually a lot cooler. At first, I liked her other suit, but I don't know, I actually kind of like her. I like her second suit a lot better. It really sucks, though, that after the second season, though, she kind of got pushed aside until, the final episode. Well, one of the final episodes where we see her again and all that. I mean, she's in the finale, too, but she's, pushed in the background and all that. They don't focus on her at all, which really sucks. But I will say, though, I do really like her character and all that, and if they ever revive the show, I hope we get to see a lot more of her again, because I think she's a cool character. But, anywho, let's go ahead and get to the number 9 spot. Number 9 is another human, 2 humans in a row. I know I said a lot of the humans in this show are not very interesting, but I did say there would be some on the list, and this is another one. She actually had her own video, if you guys want to check it out. I can't remember what playlist it is in there, but I did do a video on her. I wish I could kind of mention it, but I don't remember what playlist it's in, but Jazz, Fenton is another character I like. Like Valerie, I feel like at first he was kind of just a whatever character. At first, she was actually a completely different character. Like, she was more of a grumpy teenager and all that, who got annoyed with her brother and all that, and her family. And then they actually turned her into an actual character who actually likes ghost hunting and all that, and not just ghost hunting, but she also really loves her brother and all that, and cares for him and all that. She's even got some moments where she's teamed up with him and all that, and they do make it really, interesting and funny and all that. But she's definitely a sibling character I really like and wish we had more of. We don't have to make the freaking siblings freaking absolute unlikable pricks to make them good characters, I'm looking at you, Johnny Test. Yeah, Johnny Test does this all the time. I know I brought it up many times before, but I cannot stand freaking Susan and Mary. They're just freaking awful characters. I mean, Johnny's got his problems too, but they're freaking the worst. I cannot stand Susan and Mary. They're just freaking awful. But I'm glad that at least with this show, they actually make Jazz an actual great character. I like that. I do like that a lot. We don't need to make a character unlikable to make him good, We can make them, struggle and not get along. But I really like how they get their moments where they fight or they don't get along, but they still are great siblings, and I like that a lot. But yeah, I think that's about all I can really say about her and all that, but I do really like her. She's a really good character. And next up is number 8. At number 8, we have the main character himself, Danny Phantom, or Danny Fenton, as he's known from the humans. Except Jazz, because Jazz knows he's a ghost, but Sam and Tucker and all that. But I like Danny. I think Danny is actually a really good character and all that. I think he's a good character. I think I really like his, I like, his he has some catchphrases and all. Well, actually, he doesn't have really any catchphrases, but I like how he makes puns out of things when he fights something. It's pretty funny and all that, and I do think I do like seeing him in action. It's pretty cool and all that. You're probably wondering, though, why is he so low on the list, though? If he's the main character and all that, why is he so low on the list? Well, I haven't mentioned this about Jazz and Valerie, how, I think they're good characters, but they don't have a lot of screen time and a lot of moments that make me, laugh, but I will say, he has a lot of moments where he makes me laugh. But I do think some things can be kind of cringed about him. There are some episodes where I think he can be kind of cringe and all that. I even think the whole dynamic with Sam and all that, I think that's kind of annoying. I feel like they kind of wrote that kind of they didn't know what to do with him with love and all that, which is honestly really annoying. But I feel like though he's still a great character. I think he's got really funny moments. But I do think he can be kind of annoying, and sometimes, even in the final episode, I know I'm bringing that episode up a lot, but I just feel like, he can be kind of annoying there and all that, and I don't know, I just think, there's better characters out there, but I still think he's a really good character and all that. And I just told you how well a lot of characters on this list are, and the fact that he's number 8 and he's already good. and I really like him is really saying much. But I definitely can see why some people might put him higher on the list just because he does have a lot of action moments and all that. But I just think he's got problems in the show and all that. Like I said, with the whole Sam and Danny love thing and all that, and then him with Valerie and Paulina, I just think that kind of got annoying and all that. And you could say it's not really his character himself, but it does kind of affect it, because I'm like, it kind of makes it annoying, like, because they just keep switching it up and all that. And I mean, I guess teenagers and all that can have multiple love interests and all that, but I just think they kind of could have done it better and all that, But, I'm gonna go ahead and probably move on to the next character, but I do like his character and all that there. Anywho, now we're at number 7. And number 7 is Jack Fenton. We have another Fenton on this list. Another Fenton. And honestly, like Danny, I think he's got a lot more funny moments. Well, a lot of funny moments, but I do think they are more funny, as I said. I think they're more funny. I really like his obsession with Ghost and all that, and also, like Fudge and all that. Like, I think he's a very funny character and all that. Like, I just think he's also pretty much like this in almost every episode. I don't remember if there's any episodes that I completely despise his character, but for the most part, though, he's actually a very good character, and I really do like, these moments and all that. I think they're really funny and all that, with him, and like I said, he can be a pretty good badass in fighting, too. He can be a really good badass. So, yeah, I think he's a very good character and all that, and I will say, unlike Danny Phantom, I will say they kind of handled his character pretty well in the finale. Like, I did like we got some moments with him and Vlad and all that, but I will say though, yeah, he's funny, but I don't think he's like his like action. I don't think he's as good as Danny, but because he makes me laugh a bit more and all that, and I do like his catchphrases, I think he's definitely up there for me. But now let's go on to number 6. Number 6, we have Skulker. Before I talk about his character, I need to talk about the fact when it comes to looking his character up. See, I did not know how to spell his name, so I was trying to spell it and all that. And I swear to God, on Google, Google has gotten, well, in general, not just Google, in general, like when you look something up online, it has gotten so bad. Like, used to, it would, like, when you look something up, even if you spelled it wrong, it would, at least show the images, because I was putting Danny Phantom in and all that, so I figured that would be enough for it to show, because back in the day, it would be. But now you can't, get it to work and all that, like you used to and all that, and, it's just freaking annoying. Like, I hate that. And it also kept auto-correcting his name because I was spelling it wrong, and it kept saying soccer. I freaking just hate that. Used to, you'd be able to turn that off. I don't think you can turn off the auto-correction thing anymore. You used to be able to do that. Just turn off the auto-correction thing on this and all that, but you can't even do that anymore. So, it's really annoying and all that. But besides that, I really did want to include this character. I think he's really cool. He's literally like Valerie in a way. He likes to hunt hunt people and all. But unlike Valerie, there's a lot more moments with him in it, and I feel like it's a lot more entertaining. Especially in The Ultimate Enemy. I really like him in The Ultimate Enemy. I think he's really cool. Even though he only has a little bit of screen time, I still think he's a freaking badass villain and all that. It's really cool to see him and all that. But yeah, like Valerie, though, he also had his voice actor changed throughout the show. He was actually played by a different voice actor, too. But unlike Valerie, he actually had episodes where he had multiple speaking roles, so we got to hear his old voice actor speak multiple times. But I don't know which ones are better. I'd have to actually listen to both of them to kind of hear it. But I do think like he's definitely a better Valerie in my opinion. I still think they're both great characters, but I just think he's a lot better. Like I think he's a lot more interesting and all that. Also, I like how he has a love interest with with Ember and all that. I think that's pretty cool. All that. But I'm gonna go ahead and just move on. Oh yeah, I was gonna actually before I said anything, I also wanted to say too that he's actually a small ghost inside of the suit too. I wanted to say that. Most of the time we see his character, we actually don't see his small part. So I actually do like how they reveal he's a tiny person inside a suit, but they don't show it all the time. So they don't shove it throughout the show and all that. So that's pretty cool. I actually want to know if Ember actually knows that or not. If she knows she's actually a knows he's a small little guy inside of there. I don't know, but let's go ahead and go on to the next number now, which is number 5. And number 5 is Wolf. With a U. Yes, Wolf with a U. And I think Wolf. Yeah, Wolf's spelled with an O and all that. But I like how his name's Wolf. Like it's like instead of with an O, it's with a U. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, trying to change the name there. I see. I don't know why they bother. I'm like, I don't know. I don't get it. But I gotta say, I do really like this character too. His name's Wolf. Now, this character has only appeared in a few episodes. But what makes this character really great is I really do like this character. But what I really like about him is he actually doesn't speak English. He speaks I forgot what language he speaks. I don't think it's Spanish. I think he speaks something else. But he actually doesn't speak a whole lot. But he does have language and all that, but also at the same time he's a dog and all that. He's a dog, which is pretty cool. He's like a dog, so he acts like one sometimes and all, which is pretty cool. I also really like his claws and all that, like how he has these freaking massive claws and he can actually rip through dimensions and all that, and it's pretty cool, But I really like him. I will say, though, you definitely don't want to piss him off. That's for sure. You don't want to piss this dog off. He'll freaking claw the heck out of you if you piss him off too much. So just be aware of that. But definitely a really good character. I will say, though, I kind of wish he was in more episodes and all than he appeared. But he definitely made a lot of great appearances in episodes that I really like. So I had to include him. And then we have number 4. Number 4 is Teknus. Yes, now we have Teknus. Next to Skulker, I gotta say Teknus is definitely a lot more interesting than Skulker. Skulker is a really great villain too, who also appears a lot. I think he appears more than Teknus, but Teknus appears a lot too. Funny thing about Teknus, I actually thought he was originally voiced by Gilbert Gottfried. But no, he's voiced by a different voice actor. I just forgot the name of the voice actor who actually voices him. But he also voices, I think, characters in the Fairly Odd Parents like Mark and all that. I think his dad, too, the king and all that. Which is pretty cool. The little alien, the alien guys who hate good and all that. If you've seen the show, it's pretty interesting. But no, actually, this is not voiced by him. But he can rest in peace, though. I will say he may rest in peace. I will miss Gilbert Gottfried. I think he died too young. He was in his 60s, but still, I wish he could have lived longer than that. But it's really sad what happened to him, But may he rest in peace. But I still think this other voice actor does a really good job. I've seen some people, even online, actually, just not really anybody. I think it's just been one person so far. But I was looking up this character, and I saw someone post that, pointing out that how he's like how like he sounds like Gilbert Gottfried, and he does sound like him, but he's not him, you know. But besides the voice and all that, I gotta say, not only his voice is iconic, but I really like his you know, his technology abilities. I think he's really cool. I will say though, he actually started out kind of as an unthreatening villain. Like, he was very weak and all that. But I do like how over time he gets stronger and stronger. If they actually give him some character development too. I know they give a villain some character development, which is really interesting. But they kind of make him a lot more stronger and all. He doesn't struggle with words as much. Like, by the second season, he doesn't even really say his name like he does a lot. Like, he'll shout out his name constantly in the earlier seasons. Well, I mean, the first season, I'm saying it like there's like more than 3 seasons, but there's only 3 seasons. But I do really like that, and I think he's definitely a great character. I like his technology, battle suits, and all that. They're really cool too, like how he transforms into them. But that's pretty much about really all I can say about him. Definitely a very threatening villain and all that. You definitely don't want to have a handshake with him. He might electrocute you to death, or possibly even beyond that. Possibly not only electrocute you to death, but turn you into a pile of goo due to how powerful he is. But anywho, let's go on to the next spot, and it's number 3. Now we're getting to the top 3 here, and our top 3, well, our third person, who is the bronze, is Vlad Plasmius or Vlad Masters. And I have to say, I really like this character. Like, he is like Jack Fenton. He's probably not as funny as Jack Fenton, but I will say he's definitely funny too. Like, I like his weird obsession over Maddie and all that, and I like how he's also a replica of Danny Phantom. So he's like an anti version of Danny Phantom. I think that's pretty cool. I really do like that. He's basically the biggest rival and all that. I do think that's cool. He has a very weird obsession with ruling the world, which I'm not gonna lie, that kind of gets old kind of after a while. Like, especially when you watch season 3 when they have him in there a bunch, which is actually kind of why I don't really have him any higher. But he's still very high because I really like his character model. I think he's really cool. And also, I will say, to the voice actor who voices him, he also may rest in peace too. I did a review of Phantom Planet, if you guys want to check that out, on, you know, because of his character and all that. But I will say, though, I definitely did not like him in the final episode. Like, I hated how he revealed himself out of nowhere, and then came back, and, well, he never came back, he just disappeared. Normally, he would come back and help out, but I just hate kind of how they they didn't know what to do with him at the end, so he kind of just hangs out in space and all that. Definitely very disappointing, which is why I feel like, you know, I don't think he deserves to be any higher. But I do like his catchphrase, like he says, "Oh, butter biscuits" and all that. I think that's really funny too. And there's even a compilation of that on YouTube of someone, you know, doing that. Like, I'm not saying recording footage and all that of YouTube videos is a good thing from shows like that. But it's not like he's copying the episode. This person was just showing off his catchphrases, so, or his like weird words he says. I don't know if we'd call them catchphrases, but I do really like his character and all that, and I do like how he's he's a lot stronger and all that than Danny. Danny does eventually get stronger too throughout the series, but he still does push up a big fight. But anywho, though, I'm going to go ahead and go on to number 2. We have number 2. And number 2 is probably going to be a controversial opinion, but I have Danielle Fenton or Phantom or Danny Phantom with an I, as put it, like whatever you want to call her. She's got like multiple names. She's got two different, she's got Danielle, and then she's got, Phantom and all that, because she's Danny's cousin. The reason why I'm putting her at number 2, though, is, one thing I'm going to say, though, I will say she only did appear in 2 episodes, which you would think that would kind of, lower her, ranking, because a lot of the other characters on the list, except Wolf, I can't remember if Wolf was in more than 2 episodes or not, as a non-background character, because I think a lot of times they'll have characters in the background. She was even in the background in the final episode. But, my thing is, though, with her, what I like is, I like that she's a clone. Like, I like the fact that she's not only a clone of Danny, but she is also a female. So she's a gender-flopped version of him. Now, I also saw some things, like, when I was making this list, too, I was making the list today, or I guess technically that'd be yesterday at this point, because it's past midnight, but you know what I mean, yesterday, today, I saw somebody, like, on Facebook show, like, a pride thing and all that, and showing that character and all that, like, that she's, like, transgender. I wouldn't consider Danielle transgender. Transgender means it's a male, well, it's a male character transforming into a female. I mean, I guess she could kind of maybe be considered a transgender character, because she technically is a gender version she's a female version of Danny, which was a clone, I really don't know. Would you classify her as transgender? I really don't know. But either way, though, I really do like her character and all that. I think she's a really good character, too. Like, I like how she first works with Vlad, but then, like, realizes what he's up to, and joins Danny, and, Danny Phantom, with a Y and all that, and they become friends and all that. I don't want to go into too much detail, because I do want to review both episodes in the future. But I will say, I definitely think that she's definitely a fantastic character. I might even do my own video of her in the future, possibly. I might do my own video of her, like I did with Jazz. I haven't decided yet, but definitely a great character and all that, and I definitely find it ironic, too, how she's, like, 12 years old while Danny's 14. Pretty interesting. I heard some people say that he got older as the series got on, because their designs kind of changed after Season 1, or early Season 1. I don't know when they changed their designs, but I don't know if they actually did that or not. Like, I don't know. I think they're probably still the same age, but I could be wrong. But definitely a fantastic character and all that. And I hope, if we do get a revival, which I can kind of see this happening. I could see Danny Phantom getting a revival in the future, because every other Nickelodeon show is getting a revival. And this one's a very popular one. I feel like it deserves a continuation. I don't think I would want a revival. I kind of rather just have a continuation, not like the Fairly Odd Parents where we got a revival. I think it'd be better to have a continuation to where they left off. But I don't know. But I will say definitely, especially the final episode she was in. Cause she was in the background too in the Phantom Planet movie, slash TV movie, because it was a 48-minute episode. But the thing is, though, her and Valerie, they had this thing going on with her, which I won't try to spoil too much of the episode, but she was in the episode too. And I feel they were doing they did a cool thing with her character, and it looked like they were gonna continue it on, but they didn't because the show got canceled. So yeah, I don't know, but definitely a great character and all that, but. Before we get on, I gotta talk about something. I want to say this. Unfortunately, I have no honorable mentions. I know it says this here. I put this here so I didn't forget, because I've been forgetting a lot of stuff lately. I think I'm having some sort of short-term memory problem. I'm gonna go to the doctor and kind of work that out. But yes, my honorable mentions are I don't have any honorable mentions. It's actually not because there's not enough characters for like a top 10, well, an extra. There's actually a lot of great characters. Like I said, the humans themselves I don't care for as much as the actual characters, but I will say there are a lot of characters I did not include on the list. One of them was going to be Vortex. I think that's what his name was. He was basically a tornado-ish looking weather ghost from Season 3. I absolutely loved him. I thought he was a great character. I really did. He only had one appearance, too. Well, actually, he appeared in the background, too, but he had, like, only one speaking role in the show and all that. Like, because, that was his only actual episode where they focused on him. Another character I liked was Nocturnal, or whatever his name was. He's basically the ghost that put everyone to sleep, which was also in Season 3. Pretty cool and all that. That's the thing, though. Season 3, I know a lot of people don't like Season 3. A lot of people actually trash on it. Which you have to admit, though, I mean, I'm not going to say I don't hate the season, because I don't actually hate the season. I think it's still pretty good, but I do respect people's opinions. But I will say you have to admit, though, they did have some pretty cool villains in Season 3. Like, even the Box Ghost got his very own episode in Season 3. Which he was also a good character I did not include on the list, either. I didn't include him on the list because, well, the other two I didn't include because I thought Wolf was a lot better, but I didn't include the Box Ghost on the list because he had, like, one episode where he was, well, he actually was a pretty cool character, but most of the time he just uses a punchline and all that, which I think is really funny, but, I mean, well, there's also that whole scene, when Ultimate Enemy where we see his future self with a hook hand and all that, which is pretty cool, but most of the time he's just a punchline and all that, and but I still think he was a good character, just not as cool as I like the other ones who are actually more threatening. Like, I like the more threatening villains that actually put up a fight. We just see more cool battles that way. But definitely still a pretty cool character. And then I'll say Tucker. I don't really care for Sam that much. Like, I want to clarify, I don't absolutely hate her character, but there are a lot of moments where I freaking cannot stand her character. But I will say that I think Tucker, he has a few annoying moments, but I think for the most part, he's actually really funny. And I like how he actually has a lot of pretty good lines, too, in the show. I think he's got a lot of good lines. But yeah, I think though, compared to the other characters I have mentioned, he's not as enjoyable, but he's still pretty cool. And there was also the Ghost King and all that too. There was the Ghost King, which, like, he had one episode. I thought he was a really cool villain too, but I don't really see him. We don't see a lot of action with him, and when we do, I kind of think he gets beaten kind of easily and all that. But I'll save the review for another time. That's the thing, though. There's a lot of characters I could mention. There's a lot of them, but that's the thing, though. That's why I don't have any honorable mentions, because there's just too many of them for me to mention. But that's a lot of characters I have mentioned, so. But I'm going to go ahead and just move on to number 1. So, number 1. And the number 1 best character on Danny Phantom is Dark Danny. What can I say? What can I say about this character? What can I say about him? His design is cool. The voice actor of him is cool. The whole special he's in is cool. His whole plot is cool. The whole plot of him trying to go back in time and all that, go back in time and trying to stop Danny from exceeding and, fixing his time period and all that. That's freaking cool and all that. Not to mention, he's freaking caused so much destruction. He's actually killed people. Yeah, he literally freaking killed his human, he killed his human version of himself when he fused with Vlad and all that. Like Vlad's ghost. Because basically he got separated and all that and basically fused with him. So he actually killed somebody. He probably killed more people. I don't freaking know. But this guy is freaking a menace. I love this guy. He is freaking a badass. And it's so satisfying seeing Danny come back from the past, or the future, and go to the past, and freaking kick his ass and all that. It's freaking really cool and all that. It's a really cool battle. I just really like this character. He's so overpowered, but they don't make him like, unbroken, like a Mary Sue and all that, where they make him too overpowered for a stupid reason. There's a reason why he's overpowered. He's overpowered because, he's overpowered because he's got all those abilities from Vlad and his own self. And then, he's had years of practice, with his ghostly whale and all that. So I really like this. I like how they don't make him overpowered for no reason. They actually give him a reason. Because there's a lot of incidents, unfortunately, even in nowadays, where we'll make characters overpowered just for the sake of a plot, instead of actually, giving them a reason for being overpowered. But I really do like that. I really like that a lot. I like this. This is the character I really like and all that. And I really like too how he's also he's the second, clone of Danny. There's like 3 different clones. You got like, clone characters. I mean, well, in the episode where Danielle got cloned, there were other clones I didn't mention, but they were only there for a few seconds. But these are like the 3 clones that actually, were actually on, like, that were in the show and actually stayed. And actually, that was actually what I actually did a review on this episode and actually mentioned that. But unfortunately, I forgot. Well, actually, I didn't mention that. I forgot to mention that when I did the review. I was gonna mention that whole thing where, like, he was one of the 3 clones. I mean, he's actually not. Well, he's actually not a clone. More so, he's a clone character. But he's not actually a clone of Danny. You know what I mean? Like, he's a different version of the same character. Is what I mean. Like, the writers made a clone version of him. But unlike Danielle, he's not an actual clone. Instead, he's a different time version of himself, Danielle and Danny. But definitely a very cool and badass character and all that. And, I just really like him. I had to put him on number 1. He was only in 1 episode, but it was actually a 48-minute episode. So it was a two episode combined thing they did, which was really cool and all that. I just really liked the whole episode. I thought it was really cool. But I'm going to go ahead and probably end up letting things go from here. That's really all I wanted to mention, though. I just wanted to do a top 10, because I haven't done one of these in a while, and I feel like it's only fair I do one, because I'm still working on the other one. But this was definitely really fun to make, and all that. Like I said, this is my own opinion. If you guys have your own opinions, then you can leave them down in the comments below. But yeah, I want to go ahead and let things go and all that. I definitely think doing this outside was definitely a good idea, though, too, because I got the wind and all that out here, too. So you got the little wind for the fall and spookiness. Because ghosts have a lot of wind and all that, too. There's a lot of moments where I've seen wind and all that with them. Yeah, there are, like Scooby-Doo stuff and all that, where I've seen wind and all that, where, like, ghosts appeared. I mean, Zombie Island was one of them. Well, I guess those were more so, of, the zombie part. I actually watched that last night. There was a zombie part. But there was also just, there's also the parts where, like, where they appear, as ghosts and all that, like right when they were writing on the wall and all that. So that's where I kind of feel like the whole fall and wind kind of, because wind, is like breeze things like ghost is with chilliness. But anywho, though, I'm gonna go ahead and let things go from here. See you all later. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.